Welcome to the Modern Assyrian program at ANB SAT. My name is Carmen Morad. Today we're here at the beautiful Modesto City Hall visiting with Councilmember Jenny Kenoyer. Councilmember Jenny Kenoyer is a lifelong resident of Modesto and retired after 48 years as a registered nurse. She has 5 children and 8 grandchildren. She has been active in several community organizations, including the Stanislaus County Commission on Aging, Senior Elder Abuse Prevention Alliance, American Legion Auxiliary, and the Lazarus Ministry. She was elected to Modesto City Council in 2013 and re-elected for a second term in 2017. Councilmember Jenny Kenoyer's committee appointments include the Economic Development Committee and the Safety and Communities Committee. Born in Patterson, California, she moved to Modesto in 1940, when the city's population was about a tenth of its current 200,000 plus. After Washington Elementary and Modesto High School, she attended San Jose State University and graduated from the San Jose Hospital School of Nursing. Councilwoman Jenny Kenoyer is an advocate for senior causes and has served on the Senior Coalition of Stanislaus County. She continues to be a voice for the voiceless as she represents constituents from District 5 on the Modesto City Council. Welcome, Jenny.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for inviting me to be part of this incredible program.
Thank you, Jenny. I'd like to begin, first of all, with congratulating you on your re-election.
Thank you very much. I'm glad it's over with, and now I can just continue doing what I did the last 4 years.
Well, I do have to congratulate you because being re-elected to office, it means that not only your constituents, but your voters, the entire city of Modesto, believes in your judgment, believes in your decision making, and you are once again, for the next 4 years, representing the entire city, but elected by your constituents in District 5 to be the steward of their money and to make decisions for quality of life issues and other issues that we'll talk about in just a few minutes. How does that feel, Jenny?
It really it really makes me feel honored that I have done the job in the last 4 years that has made my constituents in the city and the people in Modesto feel that I'm doing a good job. I'm doing what most of the time what they believe I should be doing, and I think that there's nothing better than it's nice to be elected, but it's also really good to be re-elected because then it shows they believe in you and that you're doing you must be doing a fairly decent job.
That's very true. Jenny, what I'd like to ask you is, in the last 4 years that you've served on the council, what were some of the challenges that you faced, that you worked on? And also, what are the challenges with the size of the city of Modesto being over 220 approximately in population and growing? What are some of the challenges that you feel you'll be tackling in the next 4, perhaps 5 coming years?
Well, the thing that we really had, our challenges in the in the last 4 years was, of course, how much revenue we have, how we can do for our constituents what they want us to do with the amount of money we have. And unfortunately, our revenue stream has been pretty flat, and the cost of government continues to rise. We are doing, I think, an incredible job. It's very difficult, and sometimes it's hard for people to understand why we do what we do, why we spend what we do. And they also don't understand that there's different parts of the money. There's like a general fund, and there's a enterprise fund, and a wastewater fund. And you can't, if our general fund, which is the most stressed of all of them, we can't take the money from the enterprise fund. You can't do that. You can't borrow from it. So I think a lot of people are unaware of that there's different revenue streams for different. We can do a lot of work with sewer and that, because that comes out of a different fund. But we can't, until Measure L, we could not repair roads because that comes out of the general fund.
Mm-hmm. Just to let our viewers know a little bit more, very briefly describe to us the different funds that you spoke about, because whenever there's a new proposition or there's a new ordinance that comes out, people might confuse what fund and which part of their taxes go to which fund and how they are allocated.
Now, I don't want anybody to say that this is gospel, because I'm going to try to do it as well as I can, explain the different funds. The general fund is where we get our revenue. Comes from our sales tax, from property tax, and from fees, and from construction permits. The enterprise fund I believe, comes from your water, your sewer, your garbage. I believe that's what it comes from, and I'm not exactly sure for the wastewater. But the enterprise fund is pretty well funded. They can increase to increase their revenue. They can increase their fees. We can't do that in the general fund without the vote of the public. When you say tax, it's like throwing yourself under the bus. Nobody wants a tax. But we have the lowest sales tax, next to the lowest sales tax in the state of California for citywide. We also only get out of our property tax, because of Prop 13, we only get 7 cents off the dollar. So our revenue, and because of the recession, our building has been, until recently, has been really slow. So like I tell people, we can't just go out and get another job for the city. We have to depend on those. And hopefully it's coming up a little bit, but not as fast as the cost of government.
You mentioned the recession since 2008. Modesto, just like other municipalities, really did suffer, just like the rest of the country, in revenues. So how is our city getting these different revenues that you mentioned and talked about?
Well, we are seeing, like I say, an increase in the construction. We have had somewhat of an increase in our sales tax, that more people are buying more. The property tax basically doesn't go up a whole lot, as far as I know. I can't tell you exact numbers, but of course we're getting ready to do our budget. We're looking at that, so we'll know more. We get reports every month of what's going on, so we know where we're standing. But we're going to start the budget hearings, and we'll know more about what we have, if we have any leftover. How government is different than business. You have to kind of project a year ahead of time how much you're going to spend. We've been pretty good at coming within like 1% of what we're going to spend. It's not like getting a check every day that every month you know you're going to get the same amount of money. We don't know, so we project for the whole year. And we've been very fortunate to really, we haven't gone overspent yet. We haven't done that. So it's very difficult. I hope that when we have budget hearings, I would really love to see the chamber packed with people, so that asking questions and reading and wondering how we get our money and how we spend it.
I see. You mentioned, again, revenue with different propositions and different taxes. Basically, revenue means taxes and how our funds, where they come from. So talk to us a little bit about the City of Modesto and how the Cannabis ordinance and what the projection is into bringing funds, the much needed funds, to the general fund of the City of Modesto.
I realize that a lot of people still are against the cannabis. They think it's an awful drug. It's legal, it's been passed, and we feel in the city that we need to be able to control what the dispensaries are, where they are, how much that we're going to tax them, because that way we can control how it's perceived in the city. And I think people will be surprised in a year from now that it hasn't made that big, huge impact as far as crime, and they'll see that maybe we're getting some revenue from that they'll be very happy about.
I see. Well, I do know that there are workshops being done around the city, and in June of 2016 is when the state legislature actually passed the cannabis. But it's about being informed, it's about being engaged, and we had talked about that, council member, about one of the reasons that has prompted you to run for office. Tell us a little bit more about your background and how you actually became involved in politics.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of people know I was a nurse for 48 years. I started out because I was interested in seniors and their needs, and especially in transportation. And it just kind of evolved by starting to go to StanCog meeting and then going to council meetings and ending up going to Sacramento to advocate for more than just transportation. And once I realized, and I sat in on a lot of city council meetings, and I realized that a person has a voice, I decided, you know what, I can do that. I have a voice, and I love the city, and I'm not attached to anyone. I'm a free person, a free thinker. So I ran. Of course, I lost the first time, and I thought, well, I'm just going to keep trying, and I did. When I first sat there, and I told you this, that I thought, oh my gosh, do I belong here? But yes, I do belong here, because I have a passion for it. Anyone can sit and do what I'm doing. If you have the passion and you believe, and I believe in our city, I believe in the way it's run, but I believe you have to have a commitment to do what is right for not just my district, but for the entire city, for the 220,000 people. That's what I look for. I look for what is best for them, and this is a beautiful city, a wonderful city, and I want to make sure that it's keep going in the right direction.
Councilwoman, you mentioned passion. You mentioned seniors and transportation. Among a lot of the charity work that you do, the two that really pops out to my attention from everything that I've read about you that you have done, tell us the actual work that you've done when it comes to seniors, transportation, and also those experiencing homelessness, among other things that you do, that really touch you and prompt you to do something about it.
When it came to seniors and also the disabled, there was such a lack of their transportation, their needs. And it just takes it takes time. You have to look. You can't just say, I want it done. You have to find a way to get it done. And then you bring that to them and say, here it is. Show me that it can't be done. So it's important that you don't just bring the problem, you bring the solution. That's how you get things done. If I just said, oh, we have a problem, and I never went out and worked to find a solution, and it took 2.5 years, it would never get there. When it comes to people experiencing homelessness, it just bothered me that people complain that, oh, they're on the street and they're in my way and they're awful. But people don't realize that the reason why they're out there is because they have no place to go. They have no place to go from 6:30 in the morning till 5:30 at night. They're on. So I felt like, I looked on the website for other places, and I found out Turlock had a program that kind of went into an access center and a day center, and we cannot have an access center without a day center. They have to have a place to go, and from there we have to find not just to let them sit. We need to find them temporary housing, but not just put them in housing. Find them a job, make them feel like what they are: human beings, real people, not homeless people. They're people, just like you and I. And it could be you and I out there.
They are members of this community,
yes,
just like we are. Council member, what are some of the issues, just like you mentioned, that you anticipate will be facing you in the next 4 years, that not only have you started to work on, but you anticipate that the residents of the city of Modesto will benefit from?
Well, of course, when I'm out, it's people experiencing homelessness, but we're really good. We're working on that, especially with focus on prevention, and finally the city and the county. And this is what's so marvelous about our city. It is now a community working together, not just saying, government, do this. It's like, okay, we see this. We're part of this, and so we need to be part of the solution, because it can't be government. It has to be. And if people really know about the focus on prevention, how it's brought everyone together, the faith-based, the schools, the community, working together. And we saw this when that 9th Street calamity happened with that hotel that was so awful. And how everybody, because we had already worked together, how everybody came together, and it was solved within a week. Where had not that happened, everybody would have been struggling, and I don't know if we could have ever got it.
I see.
It's community involvement, and I'm seeing more and more, and we're still going to have that. We have a thing that I'm kind of really happy about is our river, that people haven't even considered what an economic development boom that could be. And we're working on that.
Let's take a break and come back and talk about that. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
بعينات بخزايق شبرة بريتا وأمانوتا وخلقت السيارة بهيارتت عيناتن باليابخ بقرايخ وبكتابخ أنا نقايوتا كخامتت عيناتوخون سلامت بيش نزريز تهار ماشين بريشة كسخصتت عيناتوخون أن ماشين إينا رابة تكنيكاية بخادرقا اللايا تبقون بأسيا جون مايكل أفون اتلخا نسيانا رابة أربيخا جدا جخلا سخصتت عيناتا سخصتا سلاماتويتا وخامتت بارد عيناتوخون ماسيتون سابيتون لجودة أسيا جون مايكل Retina Institute of Illinois. أسيا جون مايكل اتل subspecialty retina وكامس غير قداني كأتلون مرض شاكر يان diabetic retinopathy, retinal detachment, macular degeneration, and complications of cataract surgery. يومن شيكاغو غريمون المنيان التلفون شوامو شوفيتلا شوامو 8 أربا إتشي أربا سيبار يومن ديت نايل سكريمون المنيان التلفون 8 أربي شوفا ترمو إتشي شوفا 8 أتشا سيبار
We all have that one person we call, no matter what the situation or event. Who do you call when you've had a stressful day at work? When you get the news that you're having your first child, or that you landed your dream job? Now, what if you or a loved one have been injured and need advice? Who do you call? Think about it.
قبوش مطقانيات وبقارة قاعبي لوخون ماسيتون قاريتون علمنيانة تلمو تريسر وتجمو اسري اتجا تلايت منيا سي بارشافا توني اسكالاغراكوس and the associates ماسي هايريلان بيلي شانا آتورايا.
Have you tried to get rid of that unwanted stubborn fat with diet and exercise, but it just won't go away? Is that stubborn fat spoiling your weight loss efforts or ruining your physique? Introducing Sculpture, a laser-based system that removes fat without surgery so you can enjoy a slimmer, trimmer figure. Sculpture allows you to remove fat from specific areas of your body like the belly, back, waist, and thighs. Sculpture removes slices of fat layer depending on a number of treatment sessions. Sculpture is a cosmetic procedure that is non-invasive and doesn't require incisions or surgery. Each session is 25 minutes long. It uses patented laser heat technology to target only fat layers underneath the skin, breaking down the walls of the fat cells and liquefying them so your body can carry the debris away over the course of 6 to 12 weeks. Dr. Fatima Pazuki is an experienced provider of sculpture treatments for patients in and around Turlock, California. Dr. Pazuki helps patients achieve the results they're seeking with individualized consultations and treatment plans. Call us at 209-216-3570 or book an appointment online.
Rose Express, bringing a personal touch to every arrangement. Rose Express will handpick the most beautiful flowers and bouquets for any occasions, from weddings to birthdays, anniversaries, funerals, and so much more. We have over 30 years of experience behind us, and we're voted #1 florist. Our award-winning floral designers will help create the best arrangements and centerpieces for any occasion. Weddings are our passion, and we will make sure you walk away with the best experience for your dream day. We offer complimentary wedding consultation. Contact us for a free consultation, and one of our design team members will work with you to create an event that you will not forget. You can reach us at 408-771-6140 or 408-564-7175. We are located at 3575 Stevens Creek Boulevard, Suite C, San Jose, California. Thomas Auto Sales, Gumantica, California. Qashavasar Shinne, Thomas Auto Sales, Itlanisiana Guzabentit Atmobile, Gumditit Mantica, California. Thomas Auto Sales, Kipelchi Raba Qishye, قميات خدوتا غزونانا قد بالت خدية بأوتوموبيل خاتي ينمبلخ بخا ديما رابا مرديانا. Thomas Auto Sales كم سخيرخ لكم بفاينانسينج وشغلت لونز. ميقرأ كمال توماس مارد توماس Auto Sales مقروب لي قيكوت زوناندنا بديابل $10 ديسكاونت مال ليست برايس. أدرس دي إن إيلا 8 East Yosemite Avenue Gumditit Manteca, California. Kamsitun qaritun lan al 3 sipar ujja 3 la ujja sipar.
Continuing our conversation with Councilmember Jenny Kenoyer, thank you for sharing the highlights of the past 4 years with us. And you wanted to tell us a little bit more about the work that will be done at the river and how exciting that will be for the residents of the city of Modesto,
Yes.
and surrounding cities as well.
Yes, it's. I think a lot of many years ago, the river was a place for everyone to go. And in the past, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 years, people shy away from it because they're afraid of the elements that are down. But it has really changed. We have a group that's called 9 to 99, and they've really cleaned up the river, and you can actually walk from or ride a mountain bike or ride a horse from Beardbrook Park all the way to Carpenter Road. And so eventually, and I'm not going to say a lot about it because it'll happen in time, people will see it, but we hope to maybe see an aqua center at the American Legion Park, and then canoeing and rafting, and it's really going to be exciting, and I hope to see that come to fruition while in the next 4 years. I really hope to see us have a permanent access center, a day center, and emergency housing, and I see that coming. It will happen. We just don't say a lot until we've learned that you don't say until it's in stone, but it's coming, and we will see that. I am just, people ask me why I do what I do, and I get up every morning and I pray to God, and I have faith, and my faith drives me, because without my faith, if I didn't have faith in my God, in your God, in everyone's God, that what keeps me going. That makes me feel like that's why I'm here. I'm meant to be here, and I'm not being pompous, or I just feel like I was a nurse for many years. That's what I was supposed to do. I was happily married the second time my husband passed away. Then this opened up. This is what God, we look back and God puts us in certain places.
Yes.
And He put me here for this wonderful city, for me to make a difference, for me to feel this. I love what I do. Even with all the challenges, this is probably one of the most, other than my kids, because that's wonderful, and my great-grandchild, this is one of the most fulfilling jobs that anyone could have.
It's your calling.
Yes.
It's your calling. So your faith moves you, gives you inspiration.
Yes.
And as we know you as a civil servant, but we want to get to know you a little bit more as Jenny. I think a lot of people that have seen you sitting at the dais have seen and read about you, Jenny, about the passion that you have for charity. And we'll talk in the program, in your biography, about the amazing things you've done. But the premise of this program, by the Modern Assyrian program, is civic engagement. We would like members of the community, everyone who watches this program, to be more informed, to be more engaged. And as you said, if they have an idea, if they have questions, they can come up to you. They can come to city council meetings. They can pull the consent agenda online and attend and be more informed. Tell us a little bit about how you became involved when you had an idea, and that's how the opportunities presented themselves, and here you are.
Yeah, well, like I said, I saw a problem. And so I thought, now where is there some place that this problem has been looked at? You don't always have to invent the wheel. Sometimes you maybe need to change a spoke or two on it, but you don't have to invent it. So I really went out, especially when it came to the people experiencing homelessness, and I looked at many places. So then I realized, and I've done this all my life, if I have a problem, I go and find the solution, or what I think is the solution, and I will bring it to you, and then you have to tell me that it doesn't work. And usually it works.
Usually it does. Looking around your office, council member, I see a lot of plaques. I see a lot of awards and certificate of appreciations. But I also see something that is very close to my heart, which is your plaques from Assyrian Festival that you have attended. So Councilmember Jenny Kenoyer attends every festival, every church gathering, every Assyrian organization's event, just like with other diverse communities. But tell us a little bit about how important diversity is, and not only as a council member when you attend, but how does the Assyrian community reflect upon what we talked about, diversity and preserving heritage and culture to you?
Well, I enjoy so much attending, especially the festivals. I enjoyed attending the other things, but it is so fulfilling to me to see young people learn about their heritage, embody themselves in that whole meaning, doing the dancing, speaking the language. It's really important to be an American, I know that. But it is also so important for those young people to continue to know what their heritage is, how they got here, how, especially in the Assyrian community. I don't think a lot of people know about all the people who were martyred.
That's right.
And so I think they know about the Holocaust, but they don't know about the Holocaust at the Assyrian. So this, to me, that's why I love the Assyrian community, because I just love to see that they keep that going. They haven't just become an American citizens, which is wonderful, but that they also maintain their heritage for their young people. And I can see it even in the little tiny ones. I just love it. It's so wonderful.
Well, we love you too, Jenny, and thank you for attending every festival, every church event, and the fact that you mentioned Assyrian Martyrs Day, that is so important, because it shows that when we do programs like this, when we're at our, for example, the Assyrian American Civic Club or our church festival events, we are raising awareness. It's the importance of community and a sense of community. So thank you for saying that, and thank you for attending, and expect more invitations in the future. You will be invited.
Yes, at least for another 4 years.
Yes, absolutely. Even beyond that, I think the friendship that is made between communities and civil servants continues.
I just want to comment on that too. If I had not been a city council person or involved, I would not have even known or probably have even thought about all the different ethnic groups and how they do. And I am so privileged as a being where I am to be exposed to all of that, because I probably wouldn't have. And so to me, that's an honor. That's a privilege that I have since I became a council person.
Well, thank you for all that you've done, Jenny Kenoyer, council member for the city of Modesto, and we continue to see the highlights of all the projects you work on, whether it's charity, whether it's the city council, and we would love to come back and interview you again on the important projects you're working on and to give us the highlights.
Yes.
Are there any words you'd like to say in closing to our viewers?
Yes, I really think that it's so important for our constituents to understand that it's really easy to come to a council meeting, to ask a question. You don't have to be afraid. You don't have to be nervous. If you have a question, we know, we've all been there. We've been where you are. Also, the one thing I want the constituents to know is that I ran as a civil servant. I am a servant of my community. And if I'm out on the street, or if I'm in a grocery store, or no matter where I am, and if you have a question, if you have something that you really want to know about, you can come up and talk to me, because that's why I ran. I ran because I'm here to serve you, to help you. I can't always solve your problems, but I will do the best I can, and you will always hear back from me. You will always know that your voice has been heard.
Thank you, council member. I really appreciate your time out of your busy schedule to meet with us. Thank you so much for being with us on the Modern Assyrian program on ANB SAT.